Hey, so today's tip is how to become top dog at a company before you're 35 and how to fast track that part of your career. Because let's face it, if you are working for a very big organization, especially one that's been around a long time, that's not edgy and progressive, it's going to be a long wait for you to get to the top if you ever get there at all. Between restructurings and nepotism and whatever, it's going to take a bit. And the opportunities are few and far between. A lot of times you're waiting for somebody to die or to retire. And the other issue is that sometimes some positions in big executive companies, it requires age and refinement. And that's the only thing that that kind of refinement and experience comes over a long length of time, not just a few years. So in that situation, they kind of make you wait out until you're old and seasoned enough to really get that position and be able to hold that position. So how do you get around that? Well, the best way is to find, if you're not going to go into your own business, is to find a small startup or a family business that has room for growth. That's your best way to get to the top, because when it comes to that, there's not a lot of competition. If they're hiring you, they already are not top heavy enough, right? But in order to grow, you need to grow that business for them. So let me give you an example of the chain reaction that I'm witnessing with one of my clients. So I have a client who's actually an employee of the client. It's actually how it works, and I'm on retainer for them for consulting. Oops, the camera's about to fall. Sorry about that. I'm on retainer for consulting for them. So he used to work for a huge restaurant franchise, opening up different franchises for them. So every time they had a new one, he oversaw the whole operation. Young 30s, that's already a pretty outstanding position for someone in their young 30s. But that's not enough for this guy, right? He's very ambitious. So he ended up getting poached by a family enterprise that has subsidiaries, and he was hired to manage or to implement the startup of one new subsidiary, in this big chain. And so they were opening their first brick and mortar location, and I was consulting for the birthing of this startup and the marketing and all that stuff. So, and Black Ram Media Group, which is a media agency that I'm part owner of, was hired by them to start them, right? And this guy was my point person representing them for me. And since then, like, he now manages their entire operation. Within 6 months, that brand ended up named in the top 10 in their category. So they did very, very well. So now he's a little bit at a time, because he was so indispensable there and so trustworthy there. And because this is a small family or a group of families involved in this enterprise that has several projects on the go, there was a lot of room for him to actually spread his wings there. So now he's pretty much running, in one way or another, almost every project they have going. He's got his hands in pretty much every cookie jar they've got. So now he has a very prominent position, in that company. So it's really impressive how, and he's still, again, only in his middle 30s. And this guy, is now like the director of several subsidiary projects, plus the initial business that he grew. So then he started, under this team, he started another pilot project for an online business. But because he's so busy, he needed to hire someone that would make this their baby and grow it. So he did hire someone and literally handed them the keys to the kingdom, because he's busy, and said, show me what you got. And this person developed this really cozy routine of filling the website with content, but not driving traffic to it, not growing sales, not really being aggressive with marketing or whatever, didn't utilize the tools at her disposal, including Black Ram Media. And therefore it just kind of, it's full of content, but there's no there's no movement with this business. So, and also, you notice little patterns, like as soon as 4 o'clock comes, they're out the door. You know what I mean? There's no ambition. There's no, let's do this energy. So today there was an employee review, and it was mutually decided that maybe, this person's not best for that position. And that's what I had to consult on this morning, on how, the company moves forward from there, or making that decision in the first place. And what they need is somebody like him. They need somebody that wants to be the top dog, that knows it's going to be hard to do at a really big corporation. So what they're going to do is they're going to take this little diamond in the rough that has massive potential, and they're going to turn it into a big money monster so that they can afford now to hire the help that's going to do all the menial tasks of that position. And now they've just elevated themselves to an executive director position or managerial position. So sometimes you have to create the opportunity for yourself, by building the brand or building a business for somebody else. But if you don't have either the risk tolerance or the initial startup money to do your own operation, jumping into a small family business or a small startup is your best way to be able to grow the company into an executive position. Have a great day.